Hey guys, so about a year ago, I got the car dyno tuned at Auto Authority up in Connecticut. A solid 150 horsepower down on the stock ECU. Now, I was trying to get a Haltech Sprint 500 tune on the car, but we didn't quite get the map sorted just yet. And ever since then, it's been about a year. So right now, since I got the Haltech, I might as well throw in new cams. And yeah, we're gonna try to see how much horsepower we can make out of this motor. Now, ever since the dyno run, I installed new headers. Now, these are the JSP fabricated 421 headers, and they are absolutely beautiful. So today we're gonna start with teardown, and we're gonna get the head off. So that requires getting the headers off, getting the intake manifold off, getting the ITBs off, cams, and all that. So I've gone ahead and unplugged the battery and drained all of the coolant while making a medium mess. So right now I'm gonna pull off the ITBs and the intake manifold. So yeah, it's a lot of bolts deep in there. I gotta disconnect most of the sensors. Evan is gonna go ahead and take off the header side, which is just a couple bolts, and it should just come out. We got the intake off. The header is, we're gonna have to pull it out from the bottom, so we gotta undo the bottom part and then pull it out that way. To remove the camshafts on 20 valve, there's an order to removing the bolts that hold the camshafts in place. And you're meant to do it evenly, so you meant to do one pass, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You meant to go at it like multiple times with even pressure. It's a weird smell to it.
It does. It's like kind of like gear oil, kind of like gas, mixed.
For the head bolts, it's pretty much the same thing where I'm following the order, and it's every other. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come here, Ollie. Sit. Ollie. Come here. Sit. Sit. Sit.
Oh, good boy. Do you like cams?
You like cams? You want to build? Do you want to build a 20 valve? That's what I thought.
It is snowing today, so the head has been sent out to get remilled and resurfaced for the TRD head gasket. And while it's there, it's gonna get new valve springs, and they're gonna lash it and everything for the new cams. And so while that's away, we're gonna do other things while we can, like exhaust and stuff. So I got the old HKS Sport exhaust out of the car, and as you can see, because of its mild steel construction, it hasn't fared too well to the conditions up here. So it was time to upgrade. Even though I absolutely love this exhaust, it sounds really awesome. It's not too loud, and it was fairly well built. But anyways, it's time to upgrade to a Fujitsu, but not just any Fujitsu. This. Here's the real party piece. Supertech Arts. Thank you, Kamata-san. This is freaking epic. Love it. So good. So good. So now we have the exhaust on, and it looks freaking amazing. Look at this thing. It's got the logo on there with the blue tip. Oh, it's so good. It's gonna be amazing. So I've masked up the valve cover and prepped it a bit with light sanding for a new coat of paint. And I've done this before. This was originally painted white. I painted it back to black, but now let's try something different. So that came out really well. I don't even think the camera can really justify how well this came out. It's a quick job, and the center cover is just gonna remain black, so I didn't bother paint the middle part of the cover. And like that, well, with the spark plug cover on, it looks like a Honda motor. So good. I love it. Can't wait to see it back in the engine bay. And here it is. The head is back from the machine shop, and we had it resurfaced, and we got the new valve springs installed as well. And with that, the buckets and shims had to be lashed. So with that all set, we can put the head back into the car, install the new cams, and get this thing running again. Toda Racing camshafts. So it is a 264 for the intake and a 272 for the exhaust with an 8.5 lift for both of them. The head studs in, and they are hand tight just for the stud itself. Then the fastener would be torqued down. So now we can get the gasket on and the head back on. This is a lot harder than it looks. Not sure if you saw earlier, but basically I removed the 4 rear studs because the way how high they were, I couldn't really put the head on with the water block in the way. So yeah, I'm just gonna remove the rear studs, and hopefully it should slot in better. Okay, in you go. In you go. That's it. There we go. Hard to see how this. This is take 3. I removed 6 of the studs and left 4 left. And this is not enough, then yeah, then I really need help. Alright. Go. Like so. Okay. Where are the studs? Where are you? Where are you bastards? Fuck me! It's too heavy. Ah. Alright, fuck the head studs. Who needs head studs, am I right? Alright, here we go. Just got lined up here. Oh, I think that's it. Yep, that's definitely it. Head is in place. Put the head studs back in and redo this process all over again. in they go. Just like so. Yep. Okay. This lobe should be facing outwards. This lobe should be facing outwards. Core support is like human support too. Anyways, just about getting the intake side done now too. Order. 8.
You mean 7?
Is it 7?
You said 8.
Oh, 7. This is 8. 8. Don't know how to count. 9.
13.
20. Look at that, it's coming together. So we basically just put on the valve cover, put on the front gears, and then I buttoned up and tidied up the cooling, the water block in the back, and yeah, it's coming along. Next, now that we have the cover on, I can set these correctly so we can throw on the belt, and after that's all buttoned up, then we can do the intake, put on the headers, and that's really it. That's
Basically
really
done.
it. Yeah.
Time for first fire.
I can't wait. This will be great. I just need to check that it's at TDC. Alright, exhaust is good. Dick is good. Now we can throw on the belt. Should just... Oh, here it is. So check. This mark's here. This mark's here. These marks are right next to each other. The crankshaft is at TDC. All we have to do now is pull the cotter pin. That's it. We are solid. We are solid. The ITB's back on. Oh my god, this engine's finally coming back together. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go, there we go. Alright.
Alright, we're done.
Yeah,
Good night.
okay, good night. See you guys. It looks super complicated, but actually after you look at it and you just know where things go, it's a lot simpler than it really looks. So yeah. Alright, let's button this guy up. So we are filling up the coolant now. Everything is all buttoned up. The car should be ready to start. Did an oil change. We did have a hiccup with the banjo bolt for the fuel feed line, so we had to wait on that. But everything's all buttoned up and the car should start. Alright, so time has come. Let's see if it starts. Alright, so the washer on the banjo bolt here is leaking like crazy, so I'm gonna sort that out real quick. Alright, let's take 2.
Stop.
Alright, Evan had to go home. I swapped around the spacers, or the washers, whatever you call it, on the bolt. If it still leaks, then just gotta get a new fitting, I guess. Yeah, that's leaking a fuck ton. Oh man, it's leaking so much. I managed to find a different washer, so hopefully it will not leak this time. I'm gonna prime it because I realized I should have just done that instead of trying to crank. Still leaking. So I've sanded down the washer with some sandpaper to make it as flat as possible. I did the same thing for the fuel line, banjo fitting, whatever you call it. And hopefully they will sit flat with each other and not leak. Please don't leak, please don't leak, please don't leak. Is it leaking? Don't think it's leaking. Let's try it again. It's not leaking. Okay, we got fuel pressure. So sanding down the washer really did help a lot. Yes! It starts! Yeah! Cool. So she fires up and idles. Timing is off, like ignition timing, and it needs a tune because like when I tried to rev it a little bit, it didn't like that a lot. So time for the tune.
Next time on Progression D.